Hi everyone, Tom Slivick with News in Depth today, and today I'm going to be interviewing Lynnette Lipp, and Lynnette's a member of the school board here, but she's also an active member in the community and does many things as well. Now, Lynnette, before we get started and talk with you, normally this is our news spot, and so maybe if people are just watching this, I want to bring something up. Something happened today here at Amador Schools. It says earlier today, the Sutter Creek Police Department notified TSPN that a temporary lockdown had been put in place at Amador High School. The cause of the lockdown was a rumor that a parent would be coming to the school with a gun. Now, this rumor was spread via social media and text messaging, and the school administrators learned of it this morning. Well, upon learning of the rumor, the school administration notified law enforcement and a lockdown was put in place. Upon completion of an investigation, law enforcement determined that the rumor began after a group of students were overheard discussing the recent shooting in Connecticut. And there was no actual threat made. As of now, the lockdown has been lifted, but teachers will continue to lock their doors during the class time. And law enforcement presence will continue, as will normal school activities. Parents who would like to come to the school and pick up their children will be permitted to do so. So once again, earlier at Amador there was a lockdown, a rumor of maybe a parent coming down with a gun. But from what I understand, there was some kids talking at school about possibilities of what happened, like at Sandy Hook and what could happen. And so a student overheard this. Just overheard part of it and rushed to the conclusion that this was happening. So anyway, so this threat is no longer seen as a threat. Once again, there's no lockdown, and there hasn't been any lockdown because this happened earlier this morning. And Lynnette, I didn't make this, but I did ask you to come on the show a couple days earlier. You are on the school board, and I guess all I would like to say is you have to put up with things like this, not put up with things, but I mean, take them in stride, and surely this is going to be something that the school board is going to be discussing, not maybe this particular incident, probably this particular incident, but as well a larger look at school safety, kids with the, whether they're safe enough in school and what might need to be done or added. Do you want to add to that? And then we'll
rumors can be very distracting, and yet the person or the student who heard them overhearing them, even though they didn't know the right thing, it was good that it was reported. I think it's very good to be watchful of others. But our schools, our teachers, our principals, they all are really very tuned into what happened in Connecticut, and they are going to take good care of our kids.
Okay. I'd just like to point out, I agree, it should be reported, but how about calling the police? Report it to them first, maybe, and not on your social media. Social media, fine. I mean, report it however you want. But how about bringing the authorities involved, and maybe they would have found out that they were just overheard maybe a discussion about how to make it safer in school.
Right.
And but a little bit of information sometimes isn't the best of things. But you are right. Take every threat seriously, especially today. A lot of things happening. Okay, Lynnette, I want to have you on because as a community, we're losing you, and you've been quite an active member in the community. And before you and your husband, Rick, leave our community and I guess go back to Southern California.
Right.
Where I guess you think it's healthier. They have better trees than we have up here, right?
I hope so. The palm trees aren't the same as the oaks. Yeah, it's just due to health reasons that we need to go back.
Well, maybe it'd be bad there, but I think Southern California already cut down all the live oaks, so they have different kinds of trees there now.
Palms.
Okay, and there is quite a lot of stuff like that, and palms. Now, let's go back. Where do we want to start? Maybe let's start with you. Earlier, you were a school teacher.
Right.
All right. So that's your profession. Before that, where did you go to school?
I went to USC. I went to Cal State Northridge for my teaching credential, and Pepperdine for the computer science.
All right. I'm from Southern California, so I know exactly where those are. There's a lot of stuff up here I don't know where it is, but
Right.
I know where both of those are. And Pepperdine. So you like the beach? You get the Malibu a lot?
Yes, yes. Except I took my master's in computer science in a big office building in West LA, and not at the campus. Our graduation was
computer
at
science.
the
I thought
campus.
maybe you just check in via Wi-Fi.
No.
They didn't have that. At
Well,
that time, or-
they had some, but we were learning how to program. I also learned how to do some of the things that you see in the movies and TV, the titles and some of the fast action things, but it's difficult. I just wanted
You
to
mean
teach
graphics?
kids. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I just wanted to teach kids how to use the computer, but over the years I found that some of the children or some of the students, they knew more than we did. So I learned from them as well.
I think computers, from what I've been told, and and it's probably right, but gave us a new term. It's called, like, here we are talking about the schools, but it's not there. But it was a term called "learn by dying."
Right.
In other words, like, you go ahead, play Pac-Man until you learn from it. I guess another way you could say learn from crashing. So you crash it, and you find out, you learn as you go. And kids today, there's something about computers, they really don't make you feel bad when they mess up,
No.
or when you mess up with them, right?
Right. I think some of the hardest students I've ever had were summer classes in the early and mid-'80s of teaching administrators how to use the computers. They were worse than the children.
But you're waiting for them to scold you, and they don't.
No. They were afraid, though, to make a mistake,
Right.
and they didn't understand that you could fix that really easily. So it was
Right.
it was challenging.
That is, maybe something to keep in mind is they don't, computers, they don't care if you make a mistake.
No,
Just
and kids
start
aren't
over,
afraid. Kids
right?
aren't afraid. They're very uninhibited, where I think the older population, as they learn computers, were a little bit more weary or leery of making an error. So,
Right. And once you start staying on them as an adult, it's kind of a body language thing. As Rick might know, if you're playing keyboards, at first it's very hard, but after a while,
your fingers
it becomes
just go
easier
there.
because your fingers go there when you think where you want them to go.
Right, that's
All right.
true.
So that's very good. And you taught, what if I would teach, it would probably be one of the few things I would like to teach would be maybe elementary or at a college level, but
Right.
You taught elementary level.
Right.
Okay.
So I taught basically K through 3, but when I did the English as second language teaching, I did K through 6. So.
Okay. And that was in LA City
Unified.
Unified?
Right.
And what area of LA?
I taught at like 4 or 5 schools over the 30 years, and my first one was Temple and Rampart, for people
Okay.
who don't know that area. It's sort of near downtown, and then I taught East LA because I was bilingual, and I ended up finally at Brentwood Science Magnet, and that was very nice, and that was on the west side. So my last 8 years were there.
Okay, so do you like Robert Chandler and Philip Marlowe when he gets into the stories? So much of the stuff happens right down there in L.A. That's what I like about it.
I know, because the descriptions are there, and I know right where he's talking about. So,
Right.
yeah.
And Ramparts, I believe, that's where the police department.
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
on the
Well,
badge.
we have a major police station there, or a building. I used to take my children there to visit. So they would know what the inside of a jail looks like, and hopefully they'd never be there. But I wanted them to see the police in action and know that they were friends for them to depend on as well. So, but
All right. Very good. And Rick, let's talk about Rick a little bit. Professional musician.
right,
And I had to note, I mean, that's kind of hard to do. I mean, it's hard to become. It's a super competitive business. A lot of people have talent, but it's hard to get to the top where you can actually make a living
right.
at your love.
Well, you have to be in the right place, I think, at the right time,
Okay.
which he was, and knew the right people, was just there. But he is very fortunate to not have to have a second job, that he has actually been able to earn his living totally with his music.
Right. And I
So-
guess if you're in the right place at the right time, you could hear Rick play at the Lone Wolf.
Right,
He's played at Tommy's.
right,
I've heard him play down there and places like that.
right.
And not too long ago, we saw him in the Ledger Dispatch.
With Dolly.
That's right.
Right, Dolly Parton, yes. She was, we went to Mac's 70th birthday, Mac Davis, and the band reunion. And so many of the band members, all of them came, and Dolly was a very good friend of.
And Dolly wanted her picture taken with
Rick.
So that
they've been friends a long time.
She's trying to boost her career.
You think?
Yeah, well, I know that Rick guy. Okay. All right. Now, you got married 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I guess Rick lived in Glendale.
First.
Okay. And I know Glendale, too. Beautiful, beautiful area there. And so Rick lived there, but he moved up here. It seems like it must have been, 85?
Something like that.
26 years
right.
ago. Okay. And Alan's telling me I need a break, so we'll be going to a break soon. And Rick, Rick moved up here. Why did he move here?
Mac retired, and the band broke up, and he knew someone that lived here, and he liked it. And when he was very young, there was a cousin or another relative in his family that was the parish priest in Ione, and they used to come up here, he and his brother, and entertain a special time.
All right. Well, we're going to take our break, and then we'll be back, and we'll be continue our talk with Lynnette Lipp. So stay with us right here on TSPN. You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.